Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mexican Grand Prix of Season 4. Following Jack Lasky here, through the S's. Now, you don't go off at that speed. Hope that you'll continue. Heavy
Just
impact
runs
there.
a little bit wide.
Just a really heavy impact there for Lasky.
Yeah.
That'll end his chances of getting 10th place again, so not a great day for Jaws.
Yeah, and they won't get points because Bergman also retired early on. Massive shame for Jaws.
But then we do have around 21 laps to go to the finish here. We find our man in the pit lane, Stefan Berner, still getting all the important intel. Jednak is quickly losing any amount of advantage that he had over McNamara.
And it's looking likely that Duke F1 are gonna get the 1-2 here, but we saw what happened last race, so I'm not gonna comment anymore on that.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna comment on it either. I commented on it last week. Everybody should know the statistics that I was talking about. Won't need to repeat them again here. Mishra having a great race so far for JHR. Currently in 7th. Reed and Karen, and then Goddard is next, and he has Rautavaara right behind him. The Finn looking at getting something out of today.
Battling for the one single point after what could have been.
Goddard though, he's going to be tricky to get by.
Well, he certainly won't give up. But as long as he can stick behind him, I think it could be possible in the final corner or on the main straight. Just coming through the place where he made the mistake earlier on, and he is gonna try moving the final corner. Goddard is gonna keep it for now.
He backs out of it, but he took a really neat line.
Yeah.
Goddard was forced to hold it high.
He forced Goddard into the wet patch of the track, and now Rautavaara. He's gonna use the shear force of that Peugeot engine. Down the inside, but no, Goddard looks to be keeping it.
Yeah, you could just tell Rautavaara didn't seem confident on the brakes because he was on the wet side of the track.
On the wet, yeah.
He has Cadera right behind. German going to look to pressure him. I'm not sure how much that JHR can really do.
Yeah, well, it's starting to get a bit difficult to overtake because of the wet patch of the track.
Now the Mishra's gotten past Corns. I'm not sure what's happened there. Maybe a mistake there from the defending champ. Reed catching up quickly.
Well, if it was a mistake, it definitely could have been a lot worse for him.
I mean, I say that, but Mishra does seem to have a lot of speed. He is closing in on Martins.
Yeah, in the slipstream, but he is on the wet stuff. But so is Martin. He's going defensive.
Ooh.
He's just gonna hold it.
Nearly played inch perfect there by Mishra. He held his line. And the fact that Martins was defending so hard meant that he came onto the wet side of the track as well. So realistically, it evened out the advantage that Martins would have had on the racing line on the dry line.
Yeah, but despite that mistake, he still made it work.
Further up, we will find Rinho in 4th place then. Struggling to keep up with McNamara, and he's not moving much faster than Jednak. So Jednak doing a 1:15.0. A 1:14.9 there for Rinyaho.
Slightly faster.
As you would expect. You'd expect the Falcon to be slightly faster, and it might take a bit of time later in the race as we have a yellow flag.
flags.
Seems to be at the final corner. It's Martins.
Martins.
So then, we saw him battling with Mishra. Final corner. Gets onto the wet stuff, and that's fast.
Heavy impact again.
We'll try to find speed at impact. So it goes off the track at 260, 250 k's per hour. Through the gravel trap.
It's difficult to slow that car down.
Oh, it's difficult when it's in the air. 170
At about
kilometers.
171, I think it was.
We know that in between races, Raven West and their partners at Honda were looking at improving reliability here and there on the car. It was working very well. It's just that you can't build a reliability on 170 km/h impact with a tire barrier.
Pretty much, yeah.
You need a tank, and if you have a tank, you need
Well,
something to get it to
Ratavaro
170
got
km/h. That's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
it seems like Ratavaro got past Goddard,
Yep.
and the Argentinian is now under pressure from Qatar. He's looking to get back into the points.
so Ratavaro does. He moves up as a result of Martin, so he's holding a point. He's now doubled the dosage, and he's got himself
He's
2.
holding 2 points, yeah.
He's 8 seconds behind Keranen last we looked, 7.9. He's brought it down to 7.8, so he'll no doubt be catching the Razor driver. Reed starting to latch onto the back of Corns and Mishra. Big points up for grabs here for the Indian as we have another yellow flag. That's Daniel Harvey.
And he seems to have lost the wheel as well.
He's lost a wheel. He's lost the left front.
Yeah, something definitely
So,
happened.
yep, he went off very early.
Basically did a Ratavaro, just a lot worse.
We've seen them go off there. You don't see them too often break the car on that wall. It's generally that they break it, well, they bounce off that one and then they'll hit the next one.
Yeah, but since this is in the dry
Ooh.
and the speed,
Now has
Watch out for debris.
yep. So Saeed collected that tire at speed. I'm pretty sure.
but maybe could prove some suspension damage later in the race. But the front wings seems fine, just about touching it on the left side.
We can see it just down the bottom of the screen there.
Yeah,
Now we can't.
someone must have removed it. Pretty quick work from the invisible marshals.
So that's going to impact a little bit for DTK. Daniel Harvey effectively making up 4 spots, so they're going to want to hope that Reed can hold out for a little bit, and he'll need 12th for them to continue their development drive. Jednak, actually, as the track is drying up a little bit, he's holding his speed pretty well. McNamara has taken a couple of laps only to bring it down 0.8 of a second or so.
It would be a pretty good result for Black Box to get on that podium and in second place just behind Sigulakis. It'd feel like a win for them.
Absolutely. The Danish team, also known as Drift Slide, for... Well, there was question marks over whether it was sponsorship or not. It has been deemed that it was. The team renamed to Black Box this season. but for all intents and purposes still known as Drift Slide. Haven't been on the podium. To be honest, they haven't had really a very good time. I think they only scored about 40 odd points last season. They're already doing
the engine not helping.
absolutely, but
Last season's Ferrari was terrible.
let's face it, the BMW wasn't too great this season at the start, but they made it work well as Goddard there is in trouble. Sliding through the corner.
But he will get back. He managed to somehow save it, and that's pretty good work. But it promoted Cadero back into the points, and Goddard, I don't think he'll catch Cadero again.
No, the
And
JHRs do seem to be
Antec
moving.
behind him. I think he'll get passed by the Antec as well. It's very fast in a straight line. Will be difficult to keep behind him.
Sharp going to try. We've got to remember this isn't actually for position. This is just pride. Something like that. You actually won't get it done.
He got squeezed out wide a bit. Pretty good defending from the Argentinian driver.
We'll go back to Jednak. I was talking about how he was doing a good job, but McNamara having caught up quite a lot. Ooh, Reed now.
Maybe he made a bit of a mistake, did Jednak?
Perhaps. Reed having a look down the inside of corns. Oh, yeah, he gets it done. He puts corns out onto the wet side of the track. Oh, but he's thrown it away. The next corner, pretty much. Reed puts a couple of wheels off the track. Off he goes. Might have touched the wall.
At least it's not as bad as Harvey.
True.
But DTK, they did just pass the car and then they pretty much threw it away. So that's not what they'll been hoping for.
We'll have to be careful. Karanen has caught up a little bit as a result.
It's like Ratavara is also catching up to the two.
As the dry line is becoming wider and wider.
Yes, it means there is slightly more room for error.
Drivers will be able to
push a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah, they can take lines that maybe they're not the racing lines, so they might not be the fastest overall, but it might result in going faster. So you know, the fastest line might be to go as straight as possible, close to the apex, things like that. But in terms of racing, you might want to get a better exit speed, so you might take a late apex, sweep back in, and with a wider racing line you'll find that it's much easier to do that. You won't have to worry about sliding off. So absolutely, the racing should be getting a little bit more dicey out there.
Yeah, in the last 11 laps of this race now.
McNamara.
Been a pretty extraordinary race coming to close soon.
It won't do better than the season 2 event. I'm sorry, you can't beat that last lap. That last gasp victory.
Yeah, definitely.
McNamara.
But this track seems to throw up some interesting races. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Ooh.
Yeah, meanwhile,
Some more technical problems rectified there, but we are back once more. So we find Sharp chasing down Goddard, but again, not full position. But Saeed, on the other hand, is catching up. Currently 12th for the Turk. See if he can sneak it, because if he can get into 11th, there's a possibility that something could happen up ahead. Say a capitulation by a certain team. Which case 11th, well, 11th could end up being 9th. But you don't know. Rautavaara then is closing in on Keranen at a massive rate of speed. Reed just
shows the race-winning potential of the car.
Absolutely. Korn's still holding 6th. He's hasn't had quite as straightforward a day as he did in Sepang. Just sort of got away with it. But today, on the other hand, having to work a little bit harder for this 6th. Mishra just enjoying a great day out. Meanwhile,
yeah,
McNamara right on the back of Jednak.
Yeah, he is right on the back end, but it's a different thing to pass. And we've seen so far in the draw, it's not that easy to pass other cars. It's more forcing the other car into making a mistake. As the track is still wet off the racing line.
This could get interesting here. Sigalak is coming on to Noak and Utsa, who are battling for position.
Well, it's not a points-paying position though, but it could always become one.
Exactly,
You
and
never know.
not only that, it's all about pride as well.
Yeah. It's getting slightly defensive there, and Noak is being shown the blue flag. We'll see now how quickly he'll move over, if he will move over at all. And they seem to be still battling for position, and the race leader is behind them.
See how that all ends up. Oh, and we see McNamara right on the back of Jednak, 0.2 of a second over the last intermediate. This is the time that Rinyaho will start catching up. I think he's already made about 0.6 of a second or so. This is where he can catch up a little bit, because Yednak's going to have to start thinking about defensive options. Doesn't want to give up a, track position here or there or anything else. And if McNamara can't get past on the straight... Oh, we don't think he's going to be able to do that. Round he goes. That's going to be a fast one, and into the wall he goes.
As you said it. Second race in a row now. Duke F1 really thrown it away again.
So Jednak now comfortably second.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to worry about defending anymore, so he's going to slow down the progress of Rinyaho.
Absolutely, and
I think that puts Goddard into the points.
And that could mean that Saeed could find his way back in as well.
Yeah.
So McNamara successfully puts it into the wall. Extra points for everyone, pretty much. Go back to the front as Sigalakis has gotten past Utsa. Nowak's done a runner. He's off and out of there, and that actually does make it interesting. Saeed in 11th, Nowak into 12th. There's problems there for Goddard. Sharp's gone past. It slowed him down, and now Saeed right on the back of the black box. Here is the second black box. Then comfortable 6.3. Don't fancy that Rinho is going to be making up that amount of time in 7 laps. As Ratavara here going to have a look at Keranen. Keranen pushes him to the inside. It's actually quite dry down there. So just a defensive push. Will hold the position for at least another lap. Not sure how many laps that's going to work. Is Saeed into the pit lane? Question mark. Into the pit lane. True. Possibly an electrical problem there. I might have spied. It could have been throttle, but I fancy it's probably electrical there for Saeed. So he's into the lane and he's had to get that fixed. Burner nearly out of fuel.
That's a massive shame. He could have gotten that 1 point of Goddard maybe.
Yeah, just as he had caught up as well. Which then puts Nowak into 11th. He's 11 seconds behind Goddard. Don't even think about that. But there's always time. Goddard comfortable in 10th. Ratavara just going to blast past Keranen. Simple as that for the Apex driver. Saeed has found himself behind a black box. It just does happen to be Yednak, so it's not the right one. He's going to look to make the move. He's on fresh tyres. Try up the inside. See if Ratavara can catch up at all. We'll follow this one though. Reed down the straight he comes. So far so good then for the Australian. He's past Corns. Gets the job done. Top 5 there for Aaron Reed. Can he catch Mishra, is the question. Mishra currently holding 4th. Four laps remaining now. Ratavara got... well, it looked like he was flying through those couple of corners. See if he can catch up to Corns. That'd be an interesting little battle. Saeed fastest lap of the race.
He's flying in terms of pace, and the other Apex fastest lap, as you say.
As we can see, the top 10 movement. Mishra up 15, Reed up 13. Reed already having a look at Mishra, so he wants to have that little title of going up the most spaces. He's got to be careful, because anything he does could be an opening for Corns to get back, but he's onto the back of the JHR and he's moving well. Back to
But
the
not
outside.
too well. Mishra defending very well there. This could become the battle for the podium if something happens to one of the top three. You never know.
Milos, you are really trying hard to tempt fate there, my friend. First you're filling the swear jar and then you're tempting fate. You're having a fun time, aren't you? Corns then, he's just dropping off, so I don't think he's going to be any influence in this. Rautavaara, I can't
He is
remember.
catching, but it doesn't seem to be enough.
Can't remember if he's gotten 7/10 or... Oh, Saeed just blasting the fastest lap. The track drying as well, so everything's coming up.
Yeah, and the fresh tires since he just came into the pit lane.
Oh, now let's see, these three, all of a sudden the gap is between them have evened out a little bit. Corn's now dropping out. Can't hold the speed through the final corner.
Maybe the tires are going off in the dirty areas, starting to have an effect. Or maybe Mishra just put the engine up a little bit.
Kadera going to make it a good day for JHR, as will Goddard a great day for Black Box.
It could have been better for Kadera though. He started 5th and he was battling quite hard for the positions.
2 laps remaining, Ben. Ben Utsa with a 1:13.9. Homer Saeed doing 1:11.6. Another fastest lap of the race. He's not giving up on catching Utsa. It's 2 laps to go. Oh, he'll just fall short, I think. He'll need a mistake from the German to really have a chance of catching, but great speed there from Saeed. Throwing the car around, dry track. This is what we want to see. This is what we wanted to see in the Mexican Grand Prix. We want to see the cars actually driving at full pace.
Yeah, now with the track dried out.
Or penultimate lap. Reed going to have a look then on Mishra. He's close. He's not ahead or anything. And Mishra able to hold around the outside because there's so much more grip there now.
Yeah, Mishra is really defending well this race.
Oh, Rautavaara catching up quickly. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, it's Rinyaho!
Oh, as if I said it.
The curse of Mexico has returned to Falcon. Penultimate lap. Gets a little bit cross up, gets onto a wet patch right in the middle of the corner and gets it into the wall.
And that's no points for Falcon again. What could have been for them?
Watch out for debris.
This puts Mishra onto the podium.
Yeah, and this effectively becomes the battle for that bottom step of the podium.
Yep.
That's more important now. Reid will really want to get past Mishra, but at the same time Mishra will want to defend the podium.
It'll be a first podium for...
And Rautavaara is still closing up.
Absolutely. It'll be a first podium for Reid in DTK cars. Oh, he's got some speed through those S's. He's right onto the back of Mishra. He's alongside.
It's as if this gave him some motivation to get past it quicker.
Mishra into the wet stuff, and Reid is through, but will he be able to hold down the straight? We go. What's left in that Mugen Honda engine? Mishra's given it all he's got. Reid going to push him to the side. Oh, and it's not going to be enough for him. Reid will hold the position then. And I think that's going to be the positions for all of them, in fact. We find... Going across the line then, we actually missed it, I think, a little bit. Manolis Sigalakis, a second career victory for the 2KF1 driver. Comes across Josh Nowak actually a lap down, gets to 10th place, so it was very important, that battle with Utsa, who finishes in 11th, Saeed in 12th. Sasha Jednak, 2nd place, black box, first podium for that team ever. Now then we go back to 3rd, and it's just a final corner to go for Reed. Through he'll go, he's fine. Mishra follows, Korn's Rautavaara was looking up the inside, but nothing there for him. 3rd
Just
for
too
Reed.
little too late for him.
Yep, 3rd for Reed, 4th for Mishra, 5th for Korns, 6th for Rautavaara. Keranen comes across in 7th, his first points of the season then. Kidera comes across in 8th. Great day there for JHR, even if they just missed out on the podium. Sharp in 13th, a lap down. Mane Goddard coming across in 9th, and that is the race. Stefan Berner, I think he ran out of fuel. He's been in the pit lane for an hour. That's not great for him. We do sympathise with that. Sometimes Grand Prix 4 can just be an absolute dick, and you can't do anything about it. I really apologise. So, with that then, confirmation of the results. Manolis Sigalakis, first victory this season, 2nd in his career. 2KF1 finally picking up points. He will lead from Jednak by 18.7 seconds. Aaron Reed picks up a podium for DTK in 3rd place, 42 seconds behind, with Mishra, Korns and Rautavaara all within 1.3 seconds. Aidan Keranen,
very close battle for 3rd.
Oh, really, really close. Aidan Keranen was 7th for Razor. Toby Kidera, 8th for JHR, great amount of points for them. Goddard, 9th. Josh Nowak, 1 lap down for DCT, but 10th place. Then Utsa in 11th, having lost that battle with Nowak. Saeed, fastest lap of the race for him, we'll find out. We'll confirm in a moment, no doubt. 12th place, Rob Sharp, 13th. Tafio Rinyaho classified 2 laps down after putting himself into the wall, just like James McNamara, who put himself into the wall a few laps before that. Much like Daniel Harvey, much like Rui Martins, I believe, went into the wall as well. And Lasky and Deal and Heymans and Berner. Well, actually no, Berner didn't put himself into the wall, he put himself into the pit lane, and that just didn't end well. And lastly, Donald Brugman is the only one that retired with an actual problem when his throttle... well, he had a throttle problem early in the race. He got pushed into a wall, but that's not a... that wasn't the real reason he retired. It was a throttle problem. We'll take one moment. That. We'll now look for confirmation. Fast lap the race. Omar Saeed for Apex, ahead of Sigalakis and Rautavaara, as you can see, as you did say, Milosh, showing the speed of the Apex. However, both had spun out by halfway. Good recovery drive by Rautavaara to get to 6th. Absolutely. Quick look at the lap chart. Rautavaara actually is a pretty good one to look at. Look at his drop down the field. And a great fight back to get to 6th. Some Kedera. Sigalakis is pretty much in control all day. Kedera, Saeed. Interesting movements. Nowak there. Pablo Deal got up a long way, ended up retiring. Of course, it was a really weird race, absolutely. So with that, any final words then, Milosh?
Well, it was definitely an interesting race, and It was pretty good to see some new faces on the podium as well. And definitely a lot of crashes, a lot of mistakes. The weather really throwing up a big surprise here. And it made for a pretty awesome race.
Yeah, it was... Some parts about it you obviously aren't going to be happy with. You can't explain why. You don't understand it. If it will be something that will be looked at if and when there is another Mexican Grand Prix. Hopefully then it won't happen. Other than that, big winners today. Look, 2KF1 obviously made up a lot of ground on the teams ahead of them, simply down to the fact that their one and only car that finished in the points was first. But really, you got to look at the big winners behind that, being Black Box, DTK, absolutely, and JHR.
And JHR.
They're going to have quite a lot to work with, and that's where eyes must be looking to now, because those are the big results, especially Jednak and Reed on the podium. JHR double points, obviously double points for Black Box as well. So,
and also not bad for Aiden Kernan, who also got his first points of the season.
Yeah, I guess we could say that. Nonetheless. With that has been the Mexican Grand Prix then. We do hope that you all enjoyed it. Next round is from Laguna Seca?
Yeah, it is Laguna Seca, yeah.
See, look, I'm really good at this. I know what the calendar is. It's not like I made it or anything. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we do thank you all. Hopefully see you next week. Thank you. Good night.